This is Lake Mendocino in Northern California. A nice spring day here, a kind of mix of clouds and, sprinkling a little bit and sun trying to peek through there. I'm going on a hike along the lake here and going to get started here. This is a campground that is closed right now, but it will be opened in, I don't know, a couple weeks or something. And so I wanted to tell a story, a bad Greyhound experience of mine from just like a week ago. I was in Eastern Oregon and was counting on a Greyhound to get me from La Grande, Oregon to Portland, where I had a flight to catch. However, first I'm going to tell another different bad Greyhound experience. I don't mean to harp on Greyhound or anything. I've used them a lot and they've successfully gotten me to my destination a lot of times. But they have also failed a number of times in which I was relying on their services. And so the point of this video is to just kind of highlight some problems with Greyhound that hopefully they can get straightened out. And so the other experience that I had from a couple of years ago was I was taking a bus from Ukiah, which is the town that is just a few miles that way, down to San Francisco, and I had a flight to catch. But the bus pulls up in Ukiah and I go to give him my backpack and get on the bus, and he says, "I'm sorry, we're full up. I can't help you. I can't take you to San Francisco." And I'm like, what? Is another bus coming, or is there some other? And he's like, "No, sorry, I just can't take you." And eventually in that instance, then he ended up saying, well, the problem is the bus is full at Santa Rosa, which is about an hour down the road. And so, well, I'll give you a ride to Santa Rosa, and then at that point, if I still don't have a seat for you, then I'm going to have to kick you off, but we'll see how it goes. And so he did let me on the bus. We got to Santa Rosa, and at that point, then he figured something out and was able to, in fact, take me to San Francisco. But that was still, a real scare there of counting on them to catch a flight, and they just say, that's it, I'm not giving you a ride, nothing else is coming, you're out of luck. And that is what happened once again a week ago. So I was visiting my brother in La Grande in Eastern Oregon and stayed there for a few days, and then had a bus reserved from La Grande back to Portland, where I had a flight, and I had a ticket. I'd bought it online. They had my email address, but we go to the Greyhound station and we're waiting for a while with my brother, and then the bus was like 30 minutes late, and so we decided to go into the office and just ask them if they had a ETA on when the bus was coming. And she says, "Oh, that bus was canceled." Just canceled, not delayed, not another bus is coming, just the bus is canceled. The reason was that they didn't have a driver. She didn't explain, what happened, why they didn't have a driver for this route. But I had a flight at 7 p.m. that evening. The bus was supposed to come at 10:40. At this point, it was like 11:15, and I have a flight to catch. I then have a hostel reserved in San Francisco for the night, and so if I, don't get to Portland in time to catch this flight, then I don't know what's going to happen with the flight, if I have to catch one in the morning, if I'm going to get my money back, if I will have to pay extra for a different flight. I don't know if I will get, a refund on my hostel if I miss that. And then my plans are just, all thrown out of whack of who knows when I'm actually going to get to where I was trying to go, San Francisco here, to come up to Ukiah and visit family up here. And so this is, totally messed up my next couple of days potentially. All right, there's some fishermen on a boat down here, so I'm going to stop talking and get past these guys and not scare their fish away or whatever. And so there were no other transportation options to get me to Portland. No other bus service goes through there. No shuttles or anything that I was aware of, at least. And so I was just, left hanging. Now, fortunately, I am a flexible and resourceful person, and I also have lots of hitchhiking experience. I've written a book about it following my thumb, a decade of unabashed wanderlust. Link down below if you want to check it out. And so I told my brother, why don't you go drop me off at the on-ramp onto the freeway, and I'm just gonna get started hitchhiking. It was about 11:30 by that point. My flight was at 7, and so I needed to be at the airport at least by like 6 at the latest, and so I had 6.5 hours to cover what was a 4-hour drive if you were just hauling it, you know, 70 miles an hour, just like no brakes, just, you know, cruising. And so it was going to be a tough one. It would just depend on my luck, and this part of the country was not especially easy hitchhiking territory. Eastern Oregon is, you know, conservative and not really acquainted with, you know, random travelers and stuff. And so my brother drops me off at the on-ramp there, and I get started hitchhiking, and I wait there for 2 hours. Hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that, with no luck, nobody even, you know, pulling over, going a short distance or anything. And so I'm just, you know, hoping for the best here, and luckily things worked out. This guy pulls over, I ask him where he's going, he says Portland, and hop in, and we start cruising. He puts the cruise control at 74 miles per hour, and we just fly. We make one short stop for gas and then keep going. And so he takes me straight to the airport, drops me off right in front of the airport. I go in, get checked in, and then I have 45 minutes to spare sitting at the airport, grabbed a beer, took a seat, and just thanked my lucky stars that I actually made it. So I got my flight, got to San Francisco, got to my hostel, everything worked out. But what is the deal with Greyhound not contacting me once they learned that, you know, there was no driver for this route? When did that happen? Was it 5 minutes before the bus was supposed to leave from wherever it was leaving from? You know, they must have had some sort of notice. And so why didn't I get an email or a text message? They definitely had my email address. They could have emailed everyone that was supposed to be on that bus, you know, the evening before, so that people could have made other plans, figured something else out, started the day earlier, so that it wasn't a, you know, total scramble of holy crap, everything is going to be messed up here. It is, you know, 2018. We have the technology for them to figure out, you know, what the routes are that are having problems, whatever, and inform their passengers so that they can, you know, take necessary steps to get their travel plans straightened out. Same thing with the bus that was full. Why don't they have a system so that they aren't overselling buses? I had a ticket that I just bought for that bus, and yet they say there's no seats on the bus. So what's up with that? Why don't they have a better system in place so that people aren't totally screwed because of their incompetence and lack of planning and lack of organizing things, so that they can be a more reliable form of transportation for people trying to get around the country. So I understand that they can't get everything exactly right, but these are things that they can, you know, fix, work on, and make it a better system so that their passengers are not left stranded because of various things that come up that they should be more prepared for. You know, what's up with the driver? Why couldn't they get another bus driver there, a backup driver, you know, as soon as possible, fly somebody there from wherever, you know, they could? And at the worst, maybe it would be an hour or 2 or 3 late, but at least it would be going and show up eventually. That's better than just canceled, that's it, you're out of luck, you got to figure out something on your own. That is just totally unacceptable. And so Greyhound really needs to get a better system in place so that their passengers are not left hanging in bad situations such as mine. All right, take it easy.